Hey everyone, John Henry here from School of Trade, and today we're going to be taking a look at a reversal on the Russell. So there's a couple things that we're looking for here on the Russell. First, one of the big clues that we're seeing is this just complete failure to make these new highs. And on top of that, we moved up into one of our decision point reversal areas up here, where we're just seeing, we bounced right out of it. We went in it by a tick or two, and then immediately failed right back down again. We're having a very hard time moving this ground up, and we're now starting to push right back down again. So what I'm going to do is I'm looking to take this trade basically right back to these lows down here. I'm going to be a little bit more conservative. I'm going to target these opens and closes right here instead of the overall lows, but you can definitely target those overall lows as well. So I'm going to place my sell stop order here on the market and just get ready for it. But essentially we're just going to look to get triggered in one tick below the low of this candle here. So at 1185.1 we're looking to go short. And again, we're just looking at this overall failure here. There's no continuation in this move at all. We're not seeing any push through from the buyers, and we're bouncing straight out of that reversal zone up above here. Now, if we do see the buyers come back in and kick us right back above this, typically when that type of move happens, we never really break below the previous candle's low, so we shouldn't even get triggered in. If we do go higher from here, then what we'll do is we'll just cancel the sell order and we'll look for the next trade. But in this case right now, still looking for a short right now here at 1185.1, and we really, because of the amount of risk that we have to take on this one, from 1185.1 to the high, we're looking at about 28 ticks of risk, so we can really only afford to do this with one contract. Now that being said, from our entry here to the overall targets to the downside, we're looking at a 40 tick profit target. So we're still in about 1 3/4 to 2, or it's sitting in a pretty solid area of reward versus risk. So just waiting for the overall price to trigger us in here in a little bit, and then we can start to look to the downside and start placing our targets. Now this strategy itself doesn't actually use an ATM strategy, just because we don't really use one that requires this big of a risk. So what we're looking to do is I'll just have to manually place these orders, and since we don't have an ATM strategy, I can just place them ahead of time. So what I'm looking to do is 1181, I'll place my buy limit down here, and that's going to be my overall target. Now the nice thing about this is this gets me into the queue, basically. Remember, it's first in, first out with the markets. This gets me in line ahead of a lot of other people, because it's going to take a little bit of time before we get a 40 tick move down here. So that basically just puts me in the front of the line. So I should get filled if we do come down to that level. I should be pretty much right in front of the line to get filled, to make my buy order get filled. Now once our sell limit gets filled, then I'll place my buy stop. But because we're not in a position, there's no need for me to place a protective order as of yet. We will get ready here and see we're starting to get a little bit more of a push back down again. We are a little bit kind of in the doldrums, if you will. We hit the top of the hour a little bit ago at 10 o'clock, and we're now moving into around 10:15, 10:20, where we normally start seeing this reversal regardless. So just looking for this continued push down here. All right, so we are filled short, so now I can place my protective order up here at 1188. Nope, I don't want to buy stop limit, I want to buy stop. So we'll place a buy stop at 1188. And now, essentially, it's just sort of a waiting game. This trade is going to take a little bit of time, right? We've got, quite a distance to cover here, especially on a failure of these highs. If you wanted to be a little bit more conservative, you could do more of a 1-to-1 targeting these previous closes here. But because of what we're seeing in terms of the price action overall, we're just seeing this kind of chop back and forth between these areas. And with this failure up here, we're very, very likely to come revisit back down to these lows again. Now, from there, we might see a continuation where we just fall for the rest of the day, but we never really try to hedge our bets on a complete reversal zone here. So just looking to a little bit more of a conservative target here at 1181.1. Again, that puts our profit target from our entry to 40 ticks, and our stop sitting at about 28 ticks. So the reward versus risk is definitely where we want it to be on this one. So now it's just sort of a waiting game, and we're waiting for price to either go up and stop us out, where we can look for continued moves to the upside with the strength from the buyers, or if we do come down and hit our buy limit down there at 1181, then we can look for possible continuation moves right back further to the downside. So right now sitting at a -5 currently, but still overall have plenty of time to be able to put into the trade. So we'll be back in a little bit, and we'll see how we end up. All right, folks, we're back. Easing into our target down here at the 1181.1. Had a bounce right here at 1181.4, but they just didn't have what it took to really get it down there. Only went up as high as 1183.4, immediately rejected right back down again. That's the kind of stuff that we'd like to see. To me, this is more of just a profit-taking area right here, where some folks that were short took their profit off the table and bounced the market a little bit up from there, but still looking for a continued move down to our target here at 1181.1. Now what we can do, because we are easing into that area and we do have a potential for a double top up here, we're going to lock our stop in a little bit. So we're going to move our stop to 1183.5 just to lock it in case it does decide to reverse on us. We'll still have more than enough locked in, and there we go, we just filled our target. So let's cancel our stop order real quick, and then we'll place the orders on the table here so we can see what's going on. But overall, went short from, let's see, 1185.1 down to that 1181.1, and again, you can tell this only tested it to the tick, but because we had it 20 minutes ahead of time, we were first in line. And that's the beautiful thing about that first in, first out. If you use it to your advantage, it can get you out of a position before a lot of pretty much everyone else. So that's the kind of that's why we love to kind of place those orders a little bit ahead of time with these price action setups. But that's going to be today's trade on the Russell. Did take a little bit of a bigger stop than we normally like, but even with a reward versus risk of pretty much 2-to-1, hard to complain with that. So overall, up 40 ticks, $400 on one contract. So that's going to be the trade for today. Overall, really, really solid trade. If you have any questions about it, feel free to send an email to School of Trade, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And also, don't forget to check out our trial at schooloftrade.com. Have a good one. Bye.